Hey there, good afternoon, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new to my channel. My name is Katie, and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and I'm excited. I guess I tell you that every time. So today is our first really cool day. It's about 40 degrees less today than it was about a month ago, and it's very rainy. I'm going to show you what it looks like outside, and then it'll kind of lend to what we're going to be cooking today. So let me show you that real quick. I don't know if you can tell how rainy and drizzly and gray this is, but the high today was like 65 degrees. So we are moving into soup weather. So we just finished up this will be our last video on our series of our Hispanic, Mexican, Tex-Mex kind of food. And I kind of wore my dress, just like a little inspiration here. And today we are doing chicken tortilla soup. So we're moving into soup weather, and we're leaving our, let me get some better light here maybe. We're going into soup weather, and so I'm going to finish it off with this chicken tortilla soup, and then we're going to move into doing a little series on different soups. And so today we are doing this soup, and it's very easy to put together. What I've already done is I'm doubling my recipe, and I've boiled 2 chickens. If you don't have time to boil chicken, it's very easy to go to the grocery store and get a rotisserie chicken already cooked and just shred that up. Or you can just dice up some boneless, skinless breasts and saute those until they're cooked in like bite-sized pieces. But I encourage you, if you have the time, to go ahead and boil your chicken. I will leave a card, I think it'll pop up on this side, where we have actually boiled chicken, deboned it, made broth, and canned it all together in a video. So I encourage you to do it sometime if you've never done that before. That way you know what is going into your food, and it's not just kind of the unknown of what goes into these processes. You can know what's in your broth. You can know what's in your chicken. Not there's anything wrong with store-bought broth, but sometimes you don't know what's in that broth, and it's not necessarily bad things. I remember one time whenever a famous chef had started selling chicken broth on the shelf, and I bought it and I used it, and I was shocked because I didn't look at the ingredient list and there was rosemary in it. And well, if I'm making tortilla soup, I don't want a rosemary flavor in my broth. So you can customize the flavor that you have in your broth or your chicken if you do these processes yourself. So I did boil 2 chickens already and deboned them. And in my pot, when I was boiling the chicken, I used the flavorings that I would put in my soup. So I had salt and pepper, I had garlic powder, onion powder, and then I put cumin and Mexican oregano in there. And so I boiled the chicken with that. So my broth is flavored and my chicken is already flavored. So we're going to get going. I've already done that. I've poured off my broth because I'm going to saute my vegetables in the same pot, so I don't have to dirty a bunch of pots. And I've already chopped up onion. I needed to have 1 cup of diced onion chopped, but of course, like I said, I'm doing 2 recipes. So I'm going to get my apron on, and we are going to finish this process up. All right, so here is my chicken I have boiled and deboned, and I started chopping my onion here, and then it also calls for half of a small jalapeno. These were 2 jalapenos I got out of my garden. These are already very small. Can you see that? But they're red, so they're going to be spicy. So I think I'm only going to do the one bigger one instead of both of these. So we'll get this finished chopped up. I will leave the seeds in here. So this recipe also calls for 1 can of Rotel. I use the fire roasted Rotel if you can find that. Again, like I've mentioned in my salsa recipes, if you roast your vegetables, they will bring out a more intense depth of flavor. All right, I'm going to finish chopping this onion here because I need 2 cups total of diced onion. So we have our veggies, and we are going to move over to the stove and saute this. All right, so this is my pot, and of course it is a little dirty because this is the pot I boiled my chicken in. Like I said, I just poured all the broth off, and you can see kind of the bits of the oregano and stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is, we need some olive oil. Use a good extra virgin olive oil for this because the flavor in the soup is really good. All right, and we are sauteing quite a few veggies. So I'm going to get these onions in here sauteing, and then I'm going to peel some garlic real quick. Okay, our onions have been cooking for a few minutes. I'm not looking to brown them, I'm just looking to sweat them down and get them started because they will cook in the soup. And so now I'm going to add my garlic. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that if it says 1 garlic clove, I'm probably going to put 2 in. So you just put garlic to your desire. I think one recipe is about 3 cloves of garlic, but like I said, we'll put a lot of garlic in here. This is a recipe like I'm doing. You can double it, and then you can can it or you can freeze it. I'm always mentioning times that you can double or triple a recipe so that you can meal prep for later and have something ready to go in your freezer or on your pantry shelf. This would be something you would need to pressure can because it's going to have the chicken and the chicken broth. It's a low acid food. I think if you don't have a pressure canner and you wanted a water bath can this, you would need to do it for 3 hours. Also, if you boil your own chicken and debone it like I was doing, you want to make sure you don't cook it too long because when you boil a chicken, it can become kind of grainy and mushy. So, depending on the size of your chicken, it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to boil the chicken. So what you do is you're going to bring your pot to a boil, and then you're going to turn your burner down to a simmer. You don't want it to a rolling boil. You want it to just simmer your chicken. So that's why it kind of takes that amount of time. But again, like I said, if you don't have time to boil a chicken to debone it, you can just saute your chicken in the olive oil with the veg, or before you throw the veggies in here, and that's fine too. And then just if you make your own chicken broth and you have that, or if you buy a store-bought chicken broth, that's fine. The garlic is smelling really good. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw in my jalapeños. And I just want to show you my can of Rotel. This one's not open, so it says fire roasted on here. And it's not like an extra spicy. This is a non-GMO tomato, but it's fire roasted. It still has the green chilies. It doesn't have the habaneros or anything in it, because some of these will have that. This really doesn't take long. The longest part really is boiling the chicken, but that's just putting it on the stove and walking away and doing your laundry, doing your dishes, cleaning the bathroom, doing whatever you're doing while your chicken's boiling. Sometimes we need those recipes that can kind of cook by themselves while we're doing other things. Alright, so next I'm going to throw all my chicken back in here. And we need 4.5 cups of broth. So doubling my recipe, I'm going to need 9 cups. Ooh, that's hot. Just made a good mess. while we wear aprons, right? All right, that was 8 cups. Let me add some more. But I'm thinking I could add more because that's quite a bit of chicken in there. So I think I'm going to add the rest of this. I have 4 more cups. So this is going to make quite a bit of soup here. All right. So I have my 2 cans of Rotel, the juice and all. Put those down in here. And of course, for one recipe, you use 1 can. So one recipe is 1 teaspoon of cumin. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons, and this is a ½ teaspoon measure. Although I did put cumin in my broth, so we'll start out with just 1 teaspoon and then taste it. And then one recipe would be ½ a teaspoon of coriander. So I'm going to use a full teaspoon. I did not put this in my broth, so I will add the full amount. And we'll give this a stir. And we'll let this cook and let the flavors marry together. It doesn't take long, 20 minutes. If you wanted to add corn to this, you could. So what we're going to end up doing is, or you could add, a black bean or something. But that'd be more like a taco soup than a tortilla soup. So what we're going to end up doing was we're going to end up frying some corn tortilla strips. You can buy your own, or buy them in I think the produce section maybe, but we're going to do them. It's very easy to make your own tortilla strips. We're going to shred cheese. You can use lime to garnish. You can use avocado to garnish, sour cream, any kind of cheese, cheddar cheese, cotija cheese, queso fresco. There's so many different possibilities you can top this with. We're just going to use regular cheddar today, and we're going to fry the tortilla strips. So in about 20 minutes, we'll come back and get these tortilla strips fried up, and we'll give it a taste test. Okay, so here we are. We're frying some corn tortillas. All I did was I took some corn tortillas and I stacked them up and cut them into strips. And I'm just frying them, shallow fry in this avocado oil. And as I pull them out, I'll sprinkle a little bit of salt on them. My soup is over here finished, and we are about to pull this together and get a little taste test. Some of those get a little toasty, but those will be fine. I know some people will put like raw tortillas in their soup as it's cooking, but we like the crunchy texture of the crispy tortillas served on top of the soup instead of kind of mushy inside. I'm assuming that kind of thickens the broth a little bit if you allow the tortillas to cook in the broth. But we like the crispy crunchiness of it. The texture is really nice. So I have some more tortillas here, and we'll just get some more going. So just cut them into strips and just throw them in here to fry. It's that easy. You can cut triangles if you're wanting to make chips. I do that quite often. Don't overcrowd your pan like I just did. I think I've got too many in here and they might sweat a little bit. These tortillas, for some reason, were pretty moist in the packaging, and they were kind of fell apart whenever I went to cut them up. All right, we're going to salt these. We're going to let this fry while we're serving up our bowl of soup. I have my bowl here. I love chicken, the tomatoes, the yummy broth. I guess I didn't tell you or show you that I did add salt and pepper to this too. This is going to be so yummy on these these cool fall or winter nights. We're going to garnish this up and we're going to get a taste test. All right, let's see if we can get a shot with the soup without spilling it and making a mess. So here is our yummy tortilla soup. I'm so excited for soup weather. That just means it's cooling off and we're getting some relief from this heat. So we're going to take a bite of this. I know it's going to be super hot, but very yummy. See if we can get some avocado in our bite, some chicken in our bite. I can hear that crunch of the tortillas, which is a good contrast with the soup. I hope you give this recipe a try. It's really good. And let me know what soups you're cooking this fall season. I hope you hit subscribe and follow along as we try out some different soups in the next coming weeks. See you next time. Thanks for watching.